Greetings Helldivers and glory to Super Earth! In this, my very first guides for Helldivers 2, I will be covering the basics of combat. That includes the stances and the effect they have on aiming, how reloading and ammo economy works, how you can utilize stratagems and get new ones, loadout management and much more. Stay peeled for our upcoming streams, and without further ado, let's get to it. It is very important to understand the movement mechanics of this game, which are quite intricate when compared with your average horde shooter. So you can of course walk, you can run, which slowly drains a stamina bar. And this stamina bar does not mean that you will be unable to sprint, but you will be unable to execute certain other actions like clambering, for example, once it is 100% depleted. So as you can see, I keep sprinting. I'm gonna do this for demonstrative purposes, and once it is empty, I'm still sprinting, albeit a bit more clumsily and a bit more slowly, but I would be unable to, let's say, clamber an object if I am 100% out of stamina. You can see here I can clamber normally when I have stamina, but when I have no stamina, I cannot clamber at all. The diver just keeps running in front of the wall like a dumbass. When it comes to how you can position yourself in combat, you have the standard standing position, you have the crouching position, and you have the prone position. Each layer of stance will contribute to your overall accuracy, as will be demonstrated in a bit. Whilst running, you can perform a slide, or you can perform a dive by double tapping the slide button and go into prone. Clicking crouch once will take you to crouching, and once again will take you to standing. If you are prone and click to run, you immediately revert to the standing position. The game teaches you early that you can auto clamber if you have stamina and are running towards an obstacle. You don't need to press anything. If you are not sprinting though and want to clamber an elevated position, you hold your interact button and you will clamber one level. Now when it comes to firearm handling is where the meat and potatoes of this game lies, and they have done a tremendous job of demonstrating how your stance in combat and your mobility will affect how effective you are at aiming. So you aim a gun like this, the inner dot is where you have positioned your aim manually. The circle around the dot swimming about is your probable spot of impact, because of course the gun is not perfectly still. On the bottom left right now you can see that this gun is empty. We're gonna pick up the extra mags. And now you can reload the weapon. This game sports one of my favorite mechanics ever that we rarely see in any shooter, and that is that you have a meter of ammunition, and if you reload before emptying the mag, you lose all remaining bullets in said mag. So it is a pretty good idea to keep an eye on the magazine at the bottom left, and once it is really low, and only then should you initiate a manual reload. Now as you can see, my reticule is quite large when it comes to the dot in the middle and the lines on the left and right of the dot. If I crouch, this shrinks. If I go prone, it's also shrinked as if I was crouching, but I present a smaller target, will be extremely important when you're under enemy fire. Crouching again and then standing. As you can probably understand, your position will affect how effective you are with firearms. I have not been 100% able to test and determine whether or not being prone slows the swaying of the outer circle, but you're getting help by either being crouched or prone, so keep that in mind. Now I just killed the dummy enemy in the tutorial, and as you can see on the bottom left, my magazine icon is very small. I reload, and I have used up all my mags. Of course I only had one, but if I had, let's say, a full magazine like this, missing a couple of bullets, and I reloaded, I would still be losing the entire magazine, So keep that in mind and don't spam reload like in pretty much every other game. Also taught in the tutorial is the sealing of the spawns of the enemy. You can throw a grenade in there and you can seal them up. The game will explain stratagem usage in the tutorial, but it doesn't really go in depth on what they are, what availability you have, and how you can get more stratagems aside from the ones you start with. So you wanna enter the stratagem menu, L1 in case of playing on the PlayStation, and you have to input a command, right top in this case. Now you have the stratagem activator in your hand and you have to throw it like a grenade. Whether it's a resupply or an orbital strike, it works pretty much the same way. Find the point you want to throw it at, throw it, and step back. As soon as this happens, you can see on the top left that you have a cooldown timer. Of course, this is the tutorial, so your timer is pretty much non-existent. I can click again and get another. In real combat situations, this will take a minute to come back. Let's have a look at the reinforcement stratagem in case you didn't pay attention in the tutorial. It is used as pretty much every single other one. You throw it as a grenade and your dead ally will be back in action after they watch the Helldive cutscene. Here I would like to demonstrate the difference between moving, standing and crouching when aiming. So we get some enemies in here, standing, and then crouching. This is a game that rewards a steady hand and burst firing. You do not want to be spraying ammo around. Small control bursts will get the job done more efficiently than just spraying the place with ammunition. I am reloading, throwing a grenade in there, and sealing the hole.
Those unthinking folks never stood a chance against a genius tactical mind like yourself.
One thing that has to be understood, and it's not demonstrated at all in the tutorial, is the machine gun and heavy weapon reloading. So I'm gonna call in a machine gun, I'm gonna grab it, and then I'm gonna get me some ammo with resupply. So we have the LMG, same situation as with the other weapons. The reticule enlarges or gets smaller according to how we stand. And I'm gonna fire a few bullets. As you can see at the bottom left, the magazine is huge. And now I'm gonna reload to demonstrate how large weapons are reloaded.
Last reload.
You take a knee and you reload in a stationary manner. So if you're playing and you're wondering why the hell am I getting sliced and diced while I'm trying to run away with this thing, it's because your Helldiver is trying to take a knee to reload the weapon as you requested. Pay attention to this so you don't get slaughtered. So let's see some LMG action. When it comes to stratagems availability, after you complete your first assignment, you will be able to purchase new ones from the ship management console. Ship management is right here next to the shipmaster. You go, activate the terminal, and you go to stratagem. When you see that yellow triangle at the top right of the stratagems box, it means that something along this list can actually be purchased right now. Go to machine gun sentry and purchase it. There you go. This is an agile automated machine gun turret, will fire at targets even if Helldivers will be caught in the crossfire. So it just mows everything down, including yourself. Now as you can see, the yellow triangle is gone, meaning I don't have anything else to purchase when it comes to my available funds. Also in the stratagems menu, you can see comparisons when it comes to cooldown timers, number of uses, call-in time, and so on and so forth. Of course, preparation is key, so it's extremely important to go into combat with what you want to carry. The Armory allows just that. We have our grenades here, high explosive and a frag. There are stats right below. For example, the standard grenade that we can all purchase by using the Battle Pass menu has a damage of 250, penetration of 3, outer radius of 8 and fuse time of 2.4. Whilst the high explosive we all start with has a damage of 400, penetration of 4, outer radius of 7 and fuse time of 3.5. So the standard grenade will detonate for a wider radius under a shorter fuse, but this will do more damage but explodes a bit later and doesn't cover as much as a distance. It's all a gain or lose when it comes to stats according to what you choose. Before each drop you will see this menu. This is your loadout menu. You have slots according to your level. You click on those slots and you equip the stratagems and gear that you want. So for example, I want one of each of my available stratagems. I just go into each of the slots and pick up one of each available stratagem. So, Helldivers, these are pretty much the basics of combat for the just released second entry in the series. I hope this cleared things up a bit and will prove helpful as you try to tackle the enemies of Super Earth. Stick close and keep your eyes peeled for streams and more guides. Yours truly will be covering everything in the game. Until next time, be well, stay frosty and always strive for perfection. Cheers!